What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going through my 2026 NBA playoff and play-in predictions, so let's get right into it. Alrighty, so now we are over here at the bracket. So this is also including the play-in for the 2026 postseason. So I think we'll start off with the playing game. So our first matchup over in the West, we do have the Warriors taking on the Clippers. I think this is going to be a very good game. It's going to be Kawhi versus Steph. Now, the Warriors, obviously, they've been injury rattled this season, causing them to fall down to the 10th seed. Obviously, no Jimmy Butler. He's been out for a few months along with Steph. But Steph Curry, he's a real X factor to this Warriors team, and they do play much better when he's in their team. Brandon Podziemski's also been, really helping them out with all their injuries. I do think this is going to be a very entertaining playing game, but I just think with Steph Curry, the Warriors, they have that X factor. We saw it last year in the playing against the Grizzlies. They, won in a close game. I think this is going to go down to the wire, but I am going to take the Warriors to advance through. Now, obviously, them being the 10th seed, they have to win 2 games to go to be the 8th seed in the playoffs. So, but I think they'll advance through there. The other matchup in the West we do have then is the Phoenix Suns taking on the Portland Trailblazers. Again, I honestly see this being a very good game. I know Portland, they're a bit of a underdog team coming into this postseason action, and I think that they'll be looking to hopefully go ahead and win this game. But honestly going to take the Suns in this one. I just think Devin Booker, he'll be playing. I just think that they slightly outmatch the Blazers in shooting, although I do like the Blazers' young team. So I'm going to go say the Suns go ahead and grab the 7th seed, and I think they'll play versus the Spurs, and I don't think I have a Blazers logo here. Yeah, I don't have the Blazers little team logo up here in the pool, but I think that the Blazers will play the Warriors. That means in the playing game for the 8th seed, who do I have winning out of the Blazers and the Warriors? Again, I think it's going to be a very good game. I think these teams here are just all around the same mark. Like, we're going to get some very good matchups, but I'm going to take the Warriors to defeat the Blazers and go through for, I think, the second time in history is the 10th seed into the playoffs. I think there's only ever been one team that's been the 10th seed into the playoffs, and that was the Miami Heat of last year. But I think it's going to reoccur again, and I think the Warriors, I think just with Steph, he just brings that X factor. I know the Warriors have not been great this season, injury rattled, but I think they'll go through to face OKC here. So if I go duplicate and I'll add them over here to face off the Thunder as the 8th seed. Alrighty, so now let's move over to the East Playing Tournament. We've got these matchups again. They're very interesting. We've got the Charlotte Hornets. Who would have thought maybe back in December that the Hornets would be playing action? They've just been on an absolute tear right now, facing off against the Miami Heat. I think this is going to be, again, it should be a very good game, a very interesting game to watch. I believe this is one of the first 2 matchups that are scheduled, so I think it's going to be good. LaMelo, he's been on absolute fire, but I think for the Hornets, their role players have just been stepping up really well, and the Heat, well, Bam Adebayo has obviously been a massive factor for them, but they haven't really been playing that great as of late, even though he did score 83 points. They just haven't been playing as of great that late, and I just think the Hornets, man, they're on such a roll. I'm going to take the Hornets to defeat the Miami Heat, and I think the Heat are going to miss the playoffs for the first time in quite a few years. I think they made it as the 10th seed last year into the first round as the 8th seed, but I've got the Hornets winning. They deserve to win it. It would be disappointing to see them lose this game, just knowing that they're at home and they've been on a tear. So, but yeah, I think that the Hornets win that game. Then we move on to the Magic and the Sixers. Now, I'm going to say that I think the Sixers this season, they've been pretty decent. Obviously they've been injury rattled as well with Joel Embiid. Tyrese Maxey's even missed a few games, but Joel Embiid will not be playing. He is out because he is having surgery. Prayers up for him, but I think this is going to be a good game. Now, the Magic, they've been really disappointing this season. I definitely had them as like a higher seed. I thought they'd make the playoffs for sure, but yes, they have had a few injuries, but they just really have not looked good. Paolo Banchero, he has not been good this season. Desmond Bane, he's been actually alright. He's been shooting well, but the Magic, they just haven't really been on this season. I'm going to take the Sixers. I know they won't have Joel Embiid and the Magic are probably favoured to win this game, but I just don't like the Magic. I don't think they deserve to win it. They just lost to a Celtics team without three of their best players, so I'm going to take the Sixers in this one. And what you could say is maybe slightly a bit of an upset. So that means I will have the Sixers playing the Hornets in this game. So I think this is going to be, again, this should be another very interesting game, intriguing game to watch. But to be honest, it's tough because, oh, actually, no, hang on. Oh no, I'm an idiot. Sorry, the Sixers will move through to the 7th seed, and that means that the Orlando Magic, they'll face the Hornets. Ah, right. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. That's a stupid mistake. So the Sixers will play the Celtics, and then the Hornets will play the Magic. Now, I'm going to take the Hornets out of this matchup. Again, I just like them on paper. This one is really a 50-50, but I'm just going to take the Hornets. I think they deserve it more, and I'm going to say the Hornets go through to face the Pistons in the first round of the playoffs. So that is my playing tournament complete. Now we'll move on to the playoffs. We'll start off with the East. So we've got the Pistons taking on the Hornets. I think this should be a very good matchup. Obviously, the Pistons, they've been one of the stories of the year, winning the first seed and winning 60 games. Who saw that coming at the start of the season? But they've taken advantage of some of the teams below them having injuries. They've just been on a roll this season, and I feel like it would be a bit unfair not to pick them. I know the Hornets are on a roll, but if you look at the season series, the Detroit Pistons have swept the Hornets. Yeah, they've swept the Hornets for this regular season, so I just think the Pistons, they'll be too strong. I do think this will go to 5 games, but I've just got the Pistons winning. They're just going to be too strong, in my opinion. And I feel like it would be a bit unfair not to have them moving on to the second round. So I'm going to say the Pistons get it done in 5 games over the Hornets. Then we have the Cavs taking on the Hawks. This, again, all of these matchups are really very interesting. But the Cavs taking on the Hawks in this one. Obviously, the Hawks, no Trae Young, he's been traded, but ever since he's been traded, really after the All-Star break, I think the Hawks have like the third most amount of wins after the All-Star break. So that is really good. They are just playing some really good basketball at the moment, and they are the 5th seed coming up against the Cavs. Who, let's be honest, the Cavs, they've been a bit of disappointment to start off the season, but you know, they traded for James Harden at the deadline, and they've just been on a really good roll. So I think I'm going to take the Cavs. I think it's going to go to 6 games, but I think the Cavs, I reckon they'll just be too strong. I'm going to go the Cavs to win this in 6 games. I think Donovan Mitchell, they kind of just have to make it past this round. Cleveland, like they were the 1 seed last year, went out in the second round in a massive disappointment. So I'm going to go the Cavs to defeat the Hawks, and they'll move on to round 2 to face the Pistons. Then we do have New York taking on Toronto. Again, I think the Knicks should be coming in as favourites into this one. I just think the Raptors, they've been injury hit a bit, but they've done pretty well this season. Brandon Ingram's been playing out of his mind. Scotty Barnes, he's looking like a potential maybe All-Star. Bit unlucky to miss the All-Star game, but I think this series, it will be an interesting watch, but ultimately I do have the Knicks. I think that they should be winning this series pretty comfortably. I'm going to go the Knicks to win in 4. Should we? I don't want to understate that. I'll go the Knicks in 5. It could be a sweep, but the Knicks, they should be winning that with the ease, let's be honest. I just don't know if the Raptors have the X factor to meet them, so I'm going to go the Knicks in 5. Then we have the Celtics taking on the Sixers. To be honest with you, I just can't really see this series being competitive. The Celtics have done really well to maintain their record, 2nd seed in the East without Jason Tatum for most of the season, but now that Jason Tatum's back, I think the Celtics win that. I might even go a sweep. You know what? We're going to go a sweep. I'm going to say the Celtics win that in 4 games. They're usually pretty good. They usually do it with ease, getting past the first round, the Celtics. So I just think that Philly, they'll be on demand, like I said, but I'm going to go the Celtics in 4 games, and they'll set up a round 2 matchup with the New York Knicks. Over to the West now. Let's start off with this game, and this one, yeah, look, this is going to be the Thunder. I mean, they've just been the benchmark of the competition. They'll be looking to go back-to-back. I think they're probably the favourites coming into this whole playoff bracket. And look, the Warriors, yes, they do have Steph Curry, but ultimately, I think the Warriors can take maybe one game. I know it sounds stupid because the Thunder usually beat up on these teams like the Lakers, the Warriors, just the lower seeds in the West below them. But I'm gonna go the Thunder in 5 there. There's not really much explanation needed. Maybe if Jimmy Butler was back, I would go maybe 6 games. But the Thunder, they should be doing it with ease. Next up, we've got the undermanned Lakers taking on the Rockets, and as a Lakers fan, it really hurts. Just that one game against OKC, and Reeves and Luka Doncic go down like that bang. But we do have LeBron James, the king, the GOAT, the glorious LeBron James, and he'll be looking to get back to his 2018 form. And let me tell you, over his last 3 games, ever since Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves have been injured, he's been really stepping it up. Bronny's taken a leap. We still do have a few guys that can match Houston. And to be honest with you, I'd rather be playing the Rockets than the Timberwolves. If the Nuggets had of lost today to the Spurs and we won obviously against the Jazz, then we would have been playing the Timberwolves. But we lost that series in like 5 games with Luka and Reeves. So who knows what the story would have been. I think we match up better against the Rockets, even though I want to back us in as a Lakers fan. I just can't. Maybe if Luka and Reeves are back, I'll definitely be taking us. I think that Houston, to me, they're a little bit fraudulent. They do have KD. It will be a KD versus LeBron matchup, by the way. That's crazy in 2026. But I'm going to go the Rockets to win. They should win in 5 games. I think we will take 1 game. I've got to have hope as a Lakers fan. I think we can take 1 game. We've got players like Marcus Smart who have the playoff experience. So I think we'll be competitive. Next up, we've got the Nuggets taking on the T-Wolves. This is probably one of the series that I'm really excited for, just as a Lakers fan, just to watch these two go at it. But we've seen these two match up a couple of years ago in I believe it was the conference finals, where, actually no, it would have been the second round where the Timberwolves got the job done. And I might go with the same result. I think the Timberwolves, they've been a little bit fraudulent this season, but same with the Nuggets as well. The Nuggets, they're not a great defensive team. They're like 23rd rated defensively in the league. I just don't think they're that good. I don't want to undersell them. They've got Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray. They signed Cam Johnson in the offseason. He's been doing his thing, but Anthony Edwards, this is what the Timberwolves do. They always finish as the lower seed and they usually advance through. So I'm going to take the Timberwolves. I think this is going to be our first 7-game series. I think the Timberwolves are going to win this in 7 games. And I think Ant-Man's going to do it again. He'll defeat the Joker. Next up, we have the Spurs taking on the Suns. I'm going to take the Spurs. I think this is just an obvious one here. Look, the Suns, full credit to them. No one expected them to be in the play-in tournament, especially after trading away Kevin Durant. But yeah, I think that we've had one sweep. I could see this being a sweep. So I'm just going to say the Spurs win this in 4 games as well. So that leaves us with our round 2 matchups. Let's go back over to the East. We have the Pistons taking on the Cavs. Gee, this is going to be a really exciting matchup. I think that both of these teams are definitely title contenders, but I reckon I'm going to take the Cavs. I think the Cavs, they kind of just have to perform this season. Again, you've traded away Darius Garland for James Harden. You've got Evan Mobley, Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, the big 3. And I don't want to disrespect Detroit with Cade Cunningham and their stars, but I just reckon that the Cavs, they've got more experience. They've been here now. The fans would be disappointed if they lost this. I'm going to go the Cavs in 7 games. I think this will be our second 7-game series, and I'm taking the Cavs. We then move on to the Knicks taking on the Celtics, and with these two are no strangers to meeting each other's in the playoffs. I think that this will be a very, very interesting and intriguing matchup. Obviously, last time these two faced, the Knicks got the job done. That was when Jason Tatum tore his Achilles, but the Celtics, they've been a great team all season, and it's going to be really tough to decide this one, but I am leaning towards the Celtics. I think they've got a legitimate team this season. I think that they're here to make noise with Jason Tatum back, and I think that their window is almost closing soon. They've been having some really good guys playing out of their mind, like Bob Schuyman, Peyton Pritchard. I'm going to take the Knicks. I'm going to take the Celtics to get revenge here. I'm going to say this goes to 6 games, but the Celtics get past the Knicks, and they'll be setting up a conference finals matchup with the Cleveland Cavaliers. We then move back over to the West now, where we do have the Thunder taking on the Rockets. And look, to be honest with you, I just think that OKC, they're just going to be too overpowered. Like I said, Houston, I just think that they've got a few issues right now. They actually did finish off their season very strong. They won like 9 out of their last 10 games, but the Thunder, you just can't sleep on them. I'm going to take them here. I honestly think that they are one of the teams to beat. I think that they'll beat Houston. Yes, you've got KD there, but I think his former team will get over him. They're just a really young team with a really exciting future. So I'm going to take the Thunder in. I'll take them in, again, another 5-game series. I think Houston could push it to 5, maybe even 6. It could even go to 7 games, to be honest, but I'm going to take the Thunder. I think they will just be too strong in the end. Next up, we have the Spurs taking on the Timberwolves. Like I said, the West is there's just so many teams in the West where it's just a really 50-50 matchup. Wemby taking on Ant. This is going to be an absolute, cracking game. I do think that the Spurs, though, I reckon the Spurs have got a little bit more firepower than the Timberwolves. There's just something different about the Spurs this season. Yes, they don't have much playoff experience. Wemby is, his first time in the playoffs, but they've won 60 games this season, man. They deserve to make it through. I love this Spurs team. Give me the Spurs. I'm going to take them in. I'm going to take the Spurs in 6. I feel like it could go to 7 games, or the Timberwolves could even win the series, but I think the Spurs will set up a matchup with the Thunder. Let's move back over the East now for the conference finals. Got the Cavs taking on the Celtics. This is the furthest the Cavs have made it through. Donovan Mitchell, I think, will be going through to his first conference finals in the East, but I'm going to take the Celtics. I just think that they can go all the way this season. They've got Jason Tatum back again. Just the belief is insane. Jaylen Brown, as he said, possible MVP candidate. So I've got the Celtics advancing through to the NBA Finals, and they, I think, will be taking on either the winner of the Thunder or the Spurs. So this is going to be an interesting matchup. Now, the Spurs have kind of owned the Thunder. They do lead the season series 3-1 against the Thunder, and they've just been a really good team to watch. Both of these teams. This is going to go to 7 games. I have no doubt. Wemby versus Shea. I'm gonna take the Spurs, man. I'm gonna take the Spurs. They're gonna win in 7 games. There's just something different about this Spurs team, and I think it's gonna go. I think the final for this season will be the Boston Celtics, the number 2 seed Boston Celtics, taking on the number 2 seed San Antonio Spurs. I have both of the 2 seeds going through to the NBA Finals, and this is going to be an intriguing matchup if this does come true. But who do I think will win the championship? This is a real toss-up. You know what, Stuffer? We're going with the Spurs. I just think that this team, they've got so much X factor. I think the Spurs are going to win it. I really do. Where should I put the Spurs? Yep. We can put them here. I think the Spurs, they're going to come out. They're going to win the NBA championship. I love their young guys. There's just a whole bunch I could name. Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, Victor Wembanyama, De'Aaron Fox brings so much perimeter shooting. They've got guys like Jeremy Sohan, who I believe is still on their roster. I'm not sure. Julian Champagnie, just great guys there that I think will win the championship over the Boston Celtics. And those are my predictions. I have the Spurs winning the NBA championship. Let me know what your guys' thoughts and predictions are. Who do you think will win this year's NBA championship? This is going to be a cracking playoff series, and we'll see you in the next video.